Well, what's the crack? And welcome to episode 12 of Harden Podcast. I am, of course, Tom O'Mahony.
And I am, of course, Owen Mr. Fuck, I was going to say Owen Mr. Colgan.
That's my father's name. You can call me Owen.
Can't believe I think that was my fourth word and I fucked it up already. But anyways, yeah, nice to see you, Tom. It's been a while. How's tricks?
It's good. I knew what you were up to because you were going to go, oh, Tom just came out with the normal, I'm Tom O'Mahony. I'm going to say something smart.
I wanted to be fucking cheeky. That's my thing, Tom. Sometimes I'm always been cheeky and I'm always trying to, test out new things, and I got caught out there royally.
I bet you many times through your childhood, you're a pup Colgan. In your school days too, you're a fucking pup Colgan.
Oh, stop. Never ended. My mother had her heart broken over the years, but it's all a learning curve, I suppose.
It's just life in general.
I write everything off to that. Just like, it's a fucking learning curve. Grand.
That curve has been swinging a long way on.
Oh, the curve is as bent as you'll get. Speaking of curves, did you have a nice straight week or any ups and downs? That was a shite segue as well. What
Jesus Christ, you used a fucking 20-pound crowbar there to just jam that word into. Speaking of curves there, Tom. That people is the fucking jammiest of segues of all time. But it works for me. It'll do absolutely fine. Two things on. I'm looking out at a field of some of the stupidest fucking animals on the planet. A load of fucking sheep, right? And they keep on, I think they think they're migrating around the same 10 acres. Do you know, they all go together. But one of the greatest things ever happened the other day, and I didn't get to record it because I don't have a good enough camera to go 300 yards across the field, but these sheep were just let out of a couple of trailers into the field. They ran like fucking wild yokes all over the place. And then a stag came out of the field and went to hunt them all away. And they fucking pegged it in the other direction. This big bastard of a stag.
These wild stag?
Yeah.
And who they're just like cruising around the government's land there, are they? Or
no, it's not the government's land. It's a fucking man's field. But out of the forest bushes came the man's fucking sheep are out on his field. But there's been no sheep at all there all year. It's just after growing back now from a cut of silage. And obviously the stag came out. He just had such a Protestant look about him too, this stag. The way he ran at him, he looked like the lord of an estate, in 1842. And these fucking rapscallion Catholic sheep came running across his fucking land.
And he was just overly confident coming back saying, fuck off.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you be if you had a set of fucking gnarly handlebars hanging off the top of your head?
Oh, man. They're beautiful looking beasts, aren't they?
They're fucking tasty beasts is what they are on.
Are they? As you sip away on your beer, you're a bad bastard, Tom.
You have an awful goo on you now, don't you?
Oh, stop. I'm looking at you like a bloody proud mother over here.
I'm supping on a beer for the audio listeners, and I had a feeling Owen was going to have a beer. I should have texted you about it, really, because I hate that. I hate that I'm doing that to you now.
I just wanted that one push, Tom, because I was in the shop today getting ice creams, and I thought, if anyone in the world texts me right now to say something positive, I'm getting a few cans. Someone could have changed my life today, but I didn't get any texts, so... And anymore, we should definitely set it up that we both get down to the shop to pick up a couple of beers. But what are you drinking there?
This is called Brown Bear. It's Aldi's finest. They're an Irish crowd. I don't know where they are, but somebody else makes it. But they have beers that go from 4.2 all the way up to 8.5. This one is somewhere in the middle, around the 5 point something. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get you utterly fucked up, but your first one, even halfway down it, you'll go, oh Jesus! And definitely, I'm drinking beer.
There's a bit of a pep in your step when you're knocking around the gaff. It's lovely, isn't it?
Well, the thing was, isn't it though? I have the shoes kicked off here now, and I might go for a wander after this and just see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, that's class. What, like wander across the fields? Sure.
Look, there's only fucking sheep and one old stag. Take the dog for an old late night walk and see what happens.
Do a bit of foraging. And speaking of which...
Now, this is a segue, people.
No, I was curious because you said you go foraging and, you know the way like sheep would be out in the field. Do you reckon that sheep ever get stuck into magic mushrooms?
I would say definitely.
Yeah.
I was watching it. Sheep move everywhere in herds because they're thick fucking stupid. Like I'm watching these sheep way too much, by the way. Do you know what? I'll turn the camera around for 1 second. See, can you see these stupid fuckers? Can you see them all pegging?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I guarantee you, Owen, they're going nowhere at all. There's a pole down the bottom of the field, and every so often, I've called this fella Brendan, right? Because he's a Brendan look of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan will go down and stand at the lowest pole in the field and just go, meh. And then 250 of these fucking idiots will come going, meh. And they'll all get down to the pole and go, fuck it, Brendan, it's just a pole, is it? Grant. And they'll wander back up the field again.
And how come Brendan's calling the shots? What's he got going for himself?
He stood up to the fucking stag, I'm guessing.
Oh, I gotcha. So now he's top of the chain.
That's the only thing I can imagine. But I definitely would, because there is a crowd, only not, I'll walk the camera around one of the evenings, not fucking 500 yards up the road, there's a fella who does, and we should do this and actually film this. There's a guy that does a tour, and basically it's kind of dark webs kind of stuff. Not that it's, fucking bowel too much, but what he does, he gives you just the right amount of shrooms, right? And you go walking, yeah, because he measures your weight and everything, and he takes you for a walk up the hills, and basically just the right amount of acid / shroom is given to you, to the point where you just lie down on the earth, man, and just get all into it.
Wow.
Like, it's supposed to be amazing, and it's got a great name. It's like fucking shrooms and rooms, or it's got a great fucking name.
Yeah.
It's a proper business, basically, is what
I'd imagine. But so how does that work? It's on the dark web, and people contact him through that, is it?
I can only imagine it's on the dark web. I can't imagine it's on Dundee. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine. Like, there's an even sillier thing down the road. It's where you can go walking alpacas up a mountain.
Man, you're living in a nice spot there where you can get stuck into both things. I wonder, do they connect to each other where, like, you take the acid and then he walks you around with the sheep, but you think they're alpacas?
Oh, my God.
There you go. There's no such thing as alpacas, Tom. It's just people on acid.
Alpacas don't exist, Tom.
Right. I saw one before, though. I don't know if it was an alpaca or one of those llamas or llamas, whatever you call them, but...
Same old thing.
Same old thing. Fucking doing the same job. But they give me the willies altogether. I don't like them.
Well, I heard somebody describe an alpaca as just a sheep that's been uppercutted too many times.
That's the nail on the head there, yeah. I don't know. But I'd imagine that the alpaca would fit in fairly well around Ireland. It suits the climate, would it? They
do, because they're up in fucking some kind of a place like Patagonia and places which is perishing cold at the best of times anyway. But they're normally bred for, their wool is savage to God. It's great stuff apparently for an old scarf. Would you ever wear a scarf?
No more than a watch. Anytime I do wear one, I end up losing it. Like my missus gave me a scarf there about 4 months ago, and it was a good one. And the first night I went out to Fibbers, I lost it because I didn't remember having it because, I never wear scarves, so it's like I don't miss something around my neck. But I've lost about 5 in my lifetime, and I don't think I'll ever properly start wearing them because I can understand the comfort of them, but at the same time, you've got notions if you're wearing a scarf.
It was suggested to me the other day to take the redneck look off my mustache would be to start wearing a scarf to make me look like more of an artist. But immediately I got don't worry, this was a complete asshole of a person said this to me too. Like the sort of person that says things like, well, sure, isn't it gas? And you're like, no. Do you know, to start sentences with things like that?
Yeah, gotcha.
She said I should start wearing a scarf, was her own fucking phrase, as a scarf. But in my head, immediately, like a shudder went down my spine going, Jesus Christ, if my father saw me wearing a scarf, he'd fucking bet.
Yeah. But the thing is with our lads, I'm sure your owl lad is the same as mine. It's almost like maybe the scarf could be the gateway into, extreme comfort. But my father, and I'm sure your father too, be like, no, you can't be getting too comfortable. You can't start enjoying life too much.
It's almost like, the game, like I think Joe Rogan had a bit before years ago, and it was like all these fellas angry at gay lads, So they're just frightened more than anything that if they taste a Mickey, it might be fucking delicious. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying that scarf is the gateway to homosexuality. but but what I'm saying is, you're spot on. I think the old lads, being as Irish as fuck and country as fuck, that they just letting that little chink of light, and that's not a racial term either. That's actually a term for a sliver of light coming through an opening. You can't say shine anymore well after COVID, lad. It's all gone to fuck.
You're digging the hole out, Tom, quickly.
I do. Look, it's the fucking...
Get out!
The seat is dropping. The seat is dropping. but yeah, I think you're 100%. Should I see the father there? We bought him more gloves as a set and stuff, and I'd say the whole lot are still under the stairs. Yeah. Thanks very much at Christmas, but sure, look at slippers is about as good as you can do with that old lad, and even still, he's not a great man for the comfort.
My father would be exactly the same, and I think I was telling you, but recently, maybe the last 2 years or a year, maybe I've been started wearing slippers around the house.
You have you?
Yeah. Just of an evening, you know, when I'm kind of done with my work, I'll stick on a pair of slippers around 6 and make a cup of tea.
Wind back the clock to last week, right?
Yeah.
You damn near had me in pajamas.
Let's stick to what we did in the podcast, Tom. I know when I called your house with a gun, that was sorry, my hormones were all over the place.
It was your time of the month. Fuck it. So I
put these pajamas on, Tom.
For what reason, Owen? I'm asking the questions here.
But yeah, I know I nearly had your pajamas. I wear pajamas too. I'm not going to lie to you. I wear them probably. Well, you see, you know, another way, like with owl lads, they have these things in their life where you're like, does that make sense? I can understand the way my owl lad is now with not letting himself get too comfortable with anything, because once you start wearing pajamas and slippers and scarves, you know, and you start using hand moisturizers and different things, how far do you go? Do you start bloody plucking the hairs around your balls?
No.
Been there, Tom. You're going back.
It's a slippery slope, Owen Colgan, I'm telling you.
It's an itchy slope. But that's because of the shaving and all that stuff, you know, that's nothing else, obviously. But just to cover all bases.
Yeah, there's no infestation in Owen. Owen lives in the next stop, Boston, for Owen. There aren't actually no venereal carry-on at all where Owen lives. It won't actually survive in the barren lands of Mayo where he lives at the moment. So there's absolutely no fear of you getting anything.
Definitely not. No, they wouldn't survive the winds down here.
But I think I'm getting that way too, is that I'm half frightened. I'm softening emotionally, definitely. I'm not the fucking savage that I was going around the place before, but I would say I still fear, like, the pajamas. I walked away for 3 days. I wasn't right after you talked to me about that, because I had such confliction in my heart. I went, I want to try these pajamas. And the wife... I said it to her, I said, Owen's wearing pajamas. And she's
probably like, who the fuck? Who are you yelling about?
She says, he is not. I says, he is. She says, he fucking is not. I said, I'm not telling you a lie. He swore to me in public. Yeah. There are many, many people that heard it. He is wearing fucking pajamas. She went, would you not wear pajamas? I've been saying it to you for years.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that was her fucking crowbar. I made the mistake of fucking saying it in front of her. And I guarantee you, next opportunity, she's going to land on with pajamas now, and I'll have to fucking wear them.
She's end up having to enjoy them too.
That's the thing. I know I will eventually end up. Now we're having warm nights at the minute, but you know, as soon as fucking mid to late September kicks around,
and they'll be accidentally left there in the living room too, and you'll be like, you know, there'll be a bit of a nip in the air. Someone might have left the window open by accident.
Yeah,
and the temperature will be slightly off, and the only thing that'll fix it is a cup of hot chocolate and pajamas. And then they have you, Tom. Then you're indoctrinated into their way forever. And then you end up bloody wearing gloves to bed.
Before I know it, I'm stealing our makeup. I'm fucking just admiring myself in fucking car windows. I'll be writing poetry next.
I know. Yeah. Where's the line, Tom? That's the thing I've always battled with. Where is the line to looking after yourself and to being too nice to yourself?
I think you have to be rough on yourself some bit. I think if you keep on fucking being caught, because I know my missus, she'll run down the road with this if I start it. She'll have him on the rad and everything waiting for me, which
right.
In so many ways that sounds lovely, but I can't have that level of lovely, Owen. Much like I couldn't own a pub. I couldn't own a pub because I'd be dead inside a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to own a pub, but I can't own a pub or an off license because I will die. Do you know?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. You have to be, it seems like, well, I don't know, maybe you don't, but it feels like being rough to yourself sometimes, being kind of hard on yourself, as in like, get up, even if you're hungover, kind of get out of the fucking bed. Or sometimes, even enjoying food seems like a liberty at times. If someone says to you, no, like just chew your food slowly, like enjoy the taste. And you're like, no, I have to eat it quickly. Someone's going to take it off me.
I thought that was me. Do you know what I mean? I thought that was me. It was like, horse through this because you'll never know if you'll ever get it again. Tom, it was you that cooked it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
my father has this issue with letting people, like my father has an issue with people knowing that he's asleep.
Yeah, both my parents have that issue. Both my parents.
Oh yeah, my mother's actually, now that I think about it, my mother's the same. Like she'd be like, I was up at 5:30 this morning, and then she'd be so proud of getting up early. And my dad, he'd read the paper while taking a nap, but if you called him, he'd answer you straight away.
Oh yeah.
He'd look wrecked.
They're always, it's like this army mode or something. The whole time I go down home, and like the old one, now in fairness, she does get up fierce early, but by 7:30, 8 o'clock, you can see her, Emmerdale will be on, she'll be like,
yeah.
And you immediately go, ma'am, and this is half thick, she'll do this. What? Yeah. Like I was saying, you're like, you weren't saying that, and you've been asleep for the last half an hour. You're like, what? No, I haven't. Airship, stop. You know?
Yeah. You're annoying me now. You're not.
You won't get in trouble. You know what I mean? You're in your 60s. You're fine. Nobody will give out to you.
But it just shows you that the mentality that's been drilled into people, that you have to work every single day, and you get up early. That's the only way you can be successful in a way. But that's, it's, you can be too hard on yourself too.
I think so. It's
the balance, I suppose.
It is the balance. Them sheep are all gone. Just to keep everybody aware, in case anybody was really wondering, the sheep have all ran away now. Clearly, Brendan's poll had nothing to give whatsoever. News this week, Owen. I know we don't have a lot of news in the way of, what the fuck is going on, but I'm very excited. I love a bit of upcycling. I'm getting better at it. And I got a phone call off a friend the other day. He's a builder, and he did a house up for a very fucking a nice area now. I felt a little at unease. This area was so nice. And he was doing a refurbishment of a house, and Yuan wanted rid of her 2 picnic benches. Fine job. And your man says, I'm telling you, Tom, they're fucking mint. I went down. I must send you a photograph of them. Red wood, hard, made of mahogany, these fucking things are. And he broke my fucking back lifting them. Perfect. All I needed was a power hose, but I'm going to give him a lick of paint. The excitement. These were in a skip. And it got me more thinking about it. I was like, I routed it, needless to say, while I went down there for the benches. I took a few more things out of the skip because there was fine yolks inside it. Oh,
one man's trash is another man's treasure, Tom. So get stuck in.
I'm a firm believer in this. Like, have you ever rooted in a skip before in your life, or have you ever been invited to have a look in a skip? Or
yes, yeah. I don't know what I was picking up something from some lad's house on adverts.ie before, and outside his gaff, he was kind of getting rid of stuff from his gaff, but he had a skip out the front, and I went into the skip and I found it turned out to be a load of shite. Anyways, like there was a reason partly why he was getting rid of it, but it was like paintings and stuff like that I took home. But when I got home, there was always like a crack or something in them all. But I used the wood from them and burned it in the fire. So I didn't really upcycle. I kind of really destroyed them. But, there's always, like, at least there was one more purpose for them, I suppose.
Yeah, before they got just smashed or buried or some fucking thing. Like,
exactly, yeah.
I definitely think there's something in it. I hear about people dumpster diving in the States and stuff like that. And in lads make big money at it in London.
How so?
I watched a TV show on it one night, and lads, it's a profession where you have your van and people leave their stuff, especially washers, like washing machines now, tellies and stuff. They leave it at the end of the driveway, or they leave, outside their gate.
Yeah.
And they I don't know, are they expecting the dustbin men to pick it up or what? But these lads go around and go, "Can I have that?" And they go, "Of course you can have it. It's fucking rubbish." And they fill the van, they leg to the fucking scrapyard, and they have their own little area set up in front of kind of like a loading bay. And they take out a sledge and they take out whatever, and they smash these things, and they divide the fucking, I suppose, the components of what these things are made up of. They take the copper out, take the steel out, take whatever else is, and they separate, and they get it weighed. And some of these lads were making anything up to, it was savage money, and it was all cash. They were making one lad, I think he made 1,400 in one day.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is this like a legal thing, or is it
just
pure
Yeah. You're asking people for their rubbish, and they're going, absolutely, work away, and the scrapyard is happy to pay you for it. There's no problem.
So everyone's kind of winning in that sense.
Yeah. They're recycling stuff. Everybody's winning.
That's the way to do it. That's the way things should be as well. Like like even a bit more bartering is not a bad idea, because with the whole tapping now, I think that's going to be gone altogether. But it's nice that, if you can meet somebody and then you have a bit of a discussion about the price instead of having to do everything through the tap, because that fucking thing is tracing everything.
I tell you, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so into bartering because I feel I have a lot to give. Do you know that kind of way? Like,
it's a skill in itself. Like, it's a lost art, nearly. Like doing the dishes.
Yeah, but exactly. But I figured that, Jesus, there must be something that a man has or a woman has that is of little or no value, or they're happy to do something with, that I could surely we could put on a show for somebody, Owen. And I don't know, they give us an old fucking caravan to put onto the back of our car or something. We go around the country in it, or...
There you go, yeah. Like, one lad that owns like 5 or 6 pubs in Ireland, the deal is give us a caravan and we'll go to every pub for the night.
And do a show. Yeah.
And do a show. An hour and a half of shite talk on stage, a few pints with the locals, share some stories, and just be like, "So what did you get up to during the lockdown?" And we've realised that we all have the same story. We stayed in watching Tipping Point.
Okay, how was your week? Were you watching Tipping Point?
No. I actually don't have a television in the house, unfortunately. But, I do. I have one of the old ones. You know, they're like the big back on them.
Weighs a ton.
Weighs a ton, but I haven't used it yet because I think the landlord said it has to be connected up. But the other day, I ordered a ShNES on Amazon.
A Super Nintendo.
2.
Number one, a Super Nintendo. There was Nintendo, and then there was Super Nintendo.
I went for the ShNES, the Super Nintendo.
The ShNES, boy.
The ShNES boys are after you. And I swear to God, Tom, I was talking to my missus about it, and the greatest of memories came back. Remember Street Fighter?
Oh, lad. Street Fighter, Ryu.
Oh, Ryu, Ken. Oh,
look at my Ken here at the minute, lad.
You look more a bit like Guile.
Guile, that's who I'm going for, because I've got the kind of green shirt on. Oh, yeah. Mullet watch on. Mullet watch.
Yes, I like it, Tom. I like it.
So long as you're a fan, that's the main thing.
Do you know what, Tom? I'd say you'd even go well with a bit of a hoop earring there.
Fuck off.
I swear to God. And you should, though.
Pierce my ear.
No, because you're giving me the look of someone from Louisiana or something like that. Maybe now, like I can't put my finger on it, but I think the hoop earring would be cool. Like just like the kind of hard rocker sort of country dudes of America would have on.
Oh, right. Like there's a
like
comedian,
a biker
actually,
or something.
Chris Titus, and that's kind of what he is. Yeah, he's that. To be honest with you, Owen, it's kind of I'd say my hair is kind of half could do with a wash. But I just been letting it go wild, and we both know there's a mullet on the way. But I'm going to get ourselves to do it right tight on the sides and see what we can do. Fuck it, go mad. Sure,
definitely.
Why not?
Nothing's going to open up ever again, anyway. So it's just really for you and the family.
This is my prison moment where you come back out of prison with loads of fucking shitty tattoos and stuff. Like I'll come out of this with this fucking ridiculously fucking stupid haircut.
Christ, but. Going back to Street Fighter though, my cousin, he lives in he's from Claremorris, but he lives in Dublin now. He used to come down to our house, and he used to go around to the different villages around Mayo. I only remembered this the other day. He'd go around to the different villages in Mayo with a special SNES joypad, and he'd put in some code at the beginning of Street Fighter where it'd be like, is it flash up on the screen like welcome, and he put in a little code, and it'd just go ding 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 ding, and then then you'd be able to have like a class fighter in Street Fighter. It was like you unlocked loads of new characters and stuff like that.
Where the fuck did he get this yoke? This cheat pad?
Because back in them days, there was no cheating to be done, because there was no, there was no codes or anything like that you could put in really. So with the SNES, it was just a joypad and that's it. But he, for some reason, at the beginning of Street Fighter, he heard somewhere, I think he heard from his American cousin or something like that. He told me all the time. Yeah, he had like a little cheat code, and he put it in the beginning. And he'd give you like the best character, like or unlock a new character here and there. Sagat. It was like Sagat, but like like twice the size. Sagat's that Russian Iranian looking dude.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, I guarantee you some cousin of his went off to fucking Japan or something and came back with that joke.
Yeah.
Because we all had that moment where I remember the cousins bringing me back a Miami Dolphins football jacket.
Oh, no way.
And it was early 90s, you know what I mean? And when shit like that was fashionable. Yeah. And you could get things like, you could get the Chicago Bulls, and you could get whatever, maybe one or two other yokes. But you could get the Raiders, and you could get maybe the New York Giants. But nobody could get, and I then had their college, they went to both. Two different cousins went to Florida State and the university. So one was the Florida Gators and one was the Seminoles. And both had been champions in whichever. They were ridiculously over-the-top coloured yokes. But I walked around the place. I may as well have had cheap fucking coded SNES controllers hanging out of my ears. Lads were looking at me like, where's your man after? Because things like Boys in the Hood were big at the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You were getting real heat then in town, were you?
I was walking around the place like, I knew I was getting savage heat when there was a lad in our class. He was Jehovah's Witness, and he wouldn't raise a smile nor like it was. The whole no. He wore cardigans in first year. Do you know what I mean? The crack was not mighty with this lad, but I'll never forget. He stood right beside me in assembly one day, and I'm wearing the Seminoles jacket, like. And it's got this is the Letterman style one too, like. And I'm standing there, and the next thing a man just sidles over beside me, and he hadn't uttered he never uttered a word to me. He just stood beside me and went, "Hey." I went, "What?" He went, "Class jacket." I went, "If you are the litmus test, my good man, this is clearly a class jacket. Thanks very much for saying that."
And how long did you have the jacket for?
I think until a bit of sense kicked in and went, I cannot be wearing these jackets.
The honeymoon phase of the jacket wore off.
There was about a 2-year period there where I thought I was the absolute base.
Tom, sure, like at least you got 2 years out of it. That brown jacket that I showed you in one of the earlier podcasts, I haven't fucking wore that. I wore that on the road there one day, and I came back disgusted at myself.
It wasn't our podcast that put it off, was it?
It was. That was the turning point. It was. That was exactly, because I thought to myself, I can't be going on a podcast with this jacket on me. So, and then I tried it on a few days, and I don't know what I was thinking. It just showed me that you can change as a person over the course of like 6 months completely. And when I bought that jacket, I really thought it was cool. And now looking at it, it's just, I don't know if my fashion sense has got better or worse, but it's for sale anyways, if anyone should buy it.
Do you know what we'll do? I swear to God, we will auction it. We'll auction it at our first live gig.
Yeah.
We'll auction the jacket.
And we'll get the money to charity or something.
To the Jacketless Fund.
Raising money for jacketless boys. There's a lot of it seems to be like that's the a big thing now at the moment is raising money for different charities around the country. Is that because of the lockdown?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everything is struggling big style because, of course, the funding with all the payments they're having to put out, and they're getting fuck all tax back in now. a lot of people have gone back to work in one shape or another, whether it's at home or whatever. So I'm guessing the bleed on the government isn't as much now. They're certainly not going to be taking in the funds because the shops haven't been open for people to spend their money. I don't know. Have people saved money during? I don't know how it's worked for people. Will they fucking go mad now? Has pennies fucking blown the roof off it? The pubs aren't really fucking happening too much because you get your 90 minutes in or whatever. The comedy scene, they're going to struggle to open back up. Theatres are going to struggle to open back up unless they do something fast. It's the last thing to be worried about. But as a chap who had on my podcast a couple of months ago, I know him for years, and he's done a bit of comedy. Tom Moran is his name, and he was saying, like, if you like, people go, oh, the fucking arts, huh? Fuck the arts. Now, even though stand-up comedy isn't really recognised as a fucking art, if people that say fuck the arts, I bet you they love telly. And if you love telly, then you love the arts. Simple as that. You've no choice. Everything on it, somebody has done something through arts. Even if it's the news. Yeah. Even if it's the news, I guarantee you one of the people behind the camera has done arts. You know what I mean? Everybody's an artist. So, they're struggling. They reckon, whatever about Ireland, I think we're doing well. So hopefully we can move things along quickly and get shit open back up to entertain people live.
Yeah, of course,
but they reckon up to 80% of comedy clubs in the UK are done.
80%?
80%, Owen.
Why is that? Because people will not be able to sit beside each other in the clubs now, is it?
Yeah, but they're dragging their arse. People have it too, there's no dig out coming. There's dig out coming from everywhere else. They got, I think it was 1.97 billion to the theatres, but comedy isn't considered theatre. So, and a lot of these places are above bars, busy bars, the function rooms above bars and all the rest of it. And the bars are going, fuck, man, we barely have money to open the doors. Yeah. So a lot of established comedy set places like the stands and jonglers their jonglers are fucked, but set comedy clubs, like there's a stand in Newcastle, Edinburgh and Glasgow, the Comedy Cellars in Manchester, London, I think there's another one as well. They'll be fine because they own their own building, or at least they're leasing their own building. But the other ones are going to be fucking shook.
So what's the payoff? What's the payoff for that, Tom? If there's going to be the same amount of comedians, but then 80% less of the clubs,
there's going to be a lot of fucking funny building sites as well. They're going to fucking be, I'd say.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Spuds need to be bought on.
There's going to be that, but there's also going to be something new that happens with comedy where it's going to be through a new medium, I'd say. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be through.
And that's where you and I come in.
Yeah.
There's
space comedy. We get on a spaceship and we do comedy.
No, I tell you what, we're getting a lot of messages. We're getting a fuck ton of messages as to when this shit opens back up. Will we come around the place? And we fucking will come around the place. We talked about the live show and all the rest of it. And that's where it'll happen. It'll be independent people doing their own thing. I
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, like,
I think it might swing back to like the 50s where cabaret, where you get a comedian, you get a bit of music, you might
like that.
Yeah. Do you know, I like it.
Eclectic mix of like people performing up on stage. That's brilliant. I love the sound of that because obviously comedy is great, like, but if you could get like some lad up there on stage doing a bit of a dance, or a couple even, and then some lad doing a bit of stand-up, then a break for a bit of food, that could be a lovely night.
Well, what I'd like for our live show, we'll talk about it in more detail, but I'd like, sketches,
Yeah.
Maybe not in the live format, who knows, but actually have written and produced sketches and have them up on a nice projector, and then we have fucking the bands with the audience. But we play audience games as well, where it's interactive. Fuck it, we might even get a sing-song going. We might even get a dance-off going, Of
course, fully interactive sort of. I'd like to do interviews as well with local lads, so whatever town we're in, it'd be nice to meet the local headers.
Oh, that'd be, the local headers. Because I often, when I do gigs in places, that's who I go after first, is who's the fucking lunatic,
Yeah.
Because that's who the person who I find interesting. What makes him a fucking lunatic,
That'd be a lovely segment to go into a town and call it like the local headers, and you just bring them in and just ask them regular questions about what they do for the day, and because when the whole town will be looking at you, the way the small town politics you got to be wary of.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what to fucking say.
You wouldn't know what to say. Because I know, like, there's the town I went to school in and stuff up in Tip Town. Quite literally, the whole place is it's just one continuous cycle of lunatics. It was just lunatics. Like, but to see, could you extract a couple of those lunatics and have them up on stage? I'd say a few of them. Now, we probably want to sponsor a drink or two for them to loosen lips, you know what I mean, and all the rest of it.
Some of these lads, they're dark horses that they're shy though if you ask them, but if we can get them up onto the stage, you know, and kind of like maybe prep them beforehand to let them know that they're going to be telling a story maybe. But there's plenty of boys there that, even in Mayo too, that have great stories. You'd love just for like an audience to hear them.
You're damn right. I think, like, those stories, they've been telling them for years, so you know they've got them down to perfect.
Oh, like they're proper comedians in the sense that, like, they know how to whine a good story yarn. Is it yarn a good story?
Yarn would
string a good story together.
I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a knitting / crocheting of sort.
Yeah. Something along the lines of that, yeah. But these like boys are, what I'm trying to say is expert storytellers that know the ins and outs of a beautiful story. Yeah,
I think that's the way we've got. So I was thinking, because we're going to obviously move on to our news segment and all the rest of it. But what about, how excited are you going to watch the fights at the weekend?
I am, yeah. I'm going to go for Game Bread. George Masvidal. I think he's going to take it, and I hope. Well, I don't know. Usman is a brilliant wrestler. Obviously, he's a tough dude. He's the Nigerian Nightmare. Is that what they call him?
The Nigerian Nightmare, yeah.
Nigerian Nightmare. I'm going to go for Masvidal because I like the way he's. Like, I saw the fight against Nate Diaz today, and he fairly hammered Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz is a good lanky bastard who's very good at jiu-jitsu. So I reckon George Masvidal's defense against wrestling and jiu-jitsu is fairly handy, and then his stand-up is pretty good. So I reckon he could take. I reckon Usman's going to take him down in the first round. Second round is going to be a bit more wrestling going on as well, but I think Usman's going to get tired, and then Masvidal's going to take him early in the third round.
You heard it here, folks. That is a comprehensive.
Via left hook.
Via just pure jabs.
Imagine all he threw was jabs for the whole fight.
Like somebody had him on the SNES controller and all they knew how to do.
Oh God, it'd break your heart. But I can't wait for it though. I love Masvidal. I think he's a legend.
He gives me a bit of a pain in my stones, but I'm always like that. Somebody gets class. McGregor gave me a pain in my stones. There's no taking away from how class both of them are, like. And then when I think Nate Diaz wasn't on for that fight at all that time. I don't think he brought it like he brought it for McGregor. Do you know what I mean? I think the two Diaz's, they fought on emotion and off of that. So when they were sour with a cunt, when they were properly sour with a cunt, they'd properly bring it.
You're right. You know, I never thought of that, Tom. So they get themselves wound up nearly.
Yeah, I don't think the UFC means fuck all to them lads. I think they'd be just as happy slapping the fucking tits off somebody in a car park. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they don't give a fuck. I don't think about the lights and the big deal. I don't think they care about shit like that. When I watched that fight that time, I think it meant far more to fucking Jorge Masvidal. I think it meant a lot more to him. To me, old fucking Nate looked like a lad who, whatevs.
Yeah. I'd say once he tasted the millions, I'd say he kind of.
And also, I don't think Nate cares about losing. I don't think he cares. I think he just loves a good fucking row. Do you know, like? I
reckon that's the pinnacle of getting it. Like, the pinnacle of human experience must be fighting a lad in a cage for a title. With thousands of people watching you.
It must be the greatest level. Yeah, you've stripped back everything. I did martial arts for a long time, like nearly 2 decades, like.
Right.
And I fought a bit of MMA, but only, like, it was so new, there was nobody watching. You know what I mean? But so it was just a bit of a schmozzle. But I can only imagine, like, fucking, it's just, holy shit. And not just in the theater or in the venue. There's millions watching at home, like.
In fairness to when McGregor was fighting and the Irish people would come over for those fights, I think the novelty's kind of worn off that now. But I think when he was coming over, like you'd have thousands of Irish lads serenading the like people on stage, and I remember Holly Holmes was getting asked questions, and there was loads of Irish lads in the crowd, and I was just looking up at them, and they just looked like they're having the fucking greatest session ever.
I know a couple of lads that were they fucking bled the credit union dry.
Oh, the credit union was getting called left, right, and centre those days.
It was getting fucking slapped around the place. The credit union was for going. It was their Italian 90 every fucking couple of months, like.
Yeah.
And one of the lads was saying they were there when Holly Holm was there, and they were like, "Yo, Holly, you know."
Yeah.
Have you a fella? You know, like you're going, oh, Jesus, lads, would you? There was a moment of cringe coming over, going, "Oh, fuck it, boys, stop it, will you stop?" Jesus, tonight, divine, like, would you stop it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine. But I think, like all great, like just like the WWE, when they lose somebody like fucking The Rock, you know, or they lose, you know, somebody huge, they've got a plan to move on to fuck. Now, McGregor definitely put a lot of eyes on it, and I think McGregor set, I won't say a storyline, but he definitely set a precedence for how they present themselves now, because nobody was wearing a suit. They were all in tracksuits going, "Yeah, I fought a really good fight," you know, and they all sounded as, you know, and this cunt rocks up day one wearing a fucking Louis Copeland, going, 3 men had to fucking die to make this pocket watch. And other lads started going, "I better start wearing a good suit, and I better start fucking do you know, now he only stole it from fucking Muhammad Ali. Actually, he stole it from Chris Eubank, who stole it from Muhammad Ali, that style of chat.
I've been a showman,
putting on the good suit, fucking strutting. Like Chris Eubank, just look at his old fights and his old interviews. Yeah. It's McGregor. Do you know?
Completely, yeah, definitely. But I'm surprised that other fighters didn't do that before McGregor, because none of the lads really stood out, you know.
They all came from wrestling backgrounds, and they're all babies. In wrestling, they're all babies. They're unbelievable wrestlers, but they go, wrestling is in primary school, secondary school, college, and then maybe, you know, fucking semi-pro wrestling or whatever. So they haven't kind of gone out on their own at all. Do you know, it's nearly like the civil service when it comes to nurses and teachers. They leave school, but they just go into another school to become somebody who works in a school. It's the very same thing. I think the UFC, the best thing that's happened to them. What gets bigger than Conor McGregor? How about getting a fucking island in Abu Dhabi?
Is any man for the job? It's Dana White getting an island. So why did he choose the island in Abu Dhabi as opposed to just off the coast of America there?
I was hoping you were going to say, how come he didn't take one of the Aran Islands, like, do you know? Yeah.
Or even Inishbofin, go down there for a massive scrap.
I love it. I'd imagine, like, I see his T-shirt the other day. It was UF-C spelled like C, S-E-A. It was off the coast of the west of Ireland. It'd be UF-she. Did they completely rename the whole fucking thing? Like because why did they go there? Because of tax clearance purposes. Because it's the Emirates, where they could fucking shoot a man in the face if you have a high enough ranking in society. Do you know? And they have the wherewithal to stage these things. Like the madness out of the things that the civil engineering masterpieces that they've created. Like that Palm. That whole town that's a Palm. They just went, we're building a town that looks like a Palm that has never been there before. We're building that in the sea.
Ridiculous. Doesn't Beckham have one of those islands on the Palms?
Yeah.
Or one of those branches.
I knew when it was either going to be in Russia, where the government have total dominance over everything, or Abu Dhabi, where they have total dominance over everything, and nobody's going to say it. And in Abu Dhabi or fucking Dubai, they have that kind of mad shit. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, they already do that. Yeah, they already do, like, I can't remember exactly what I seen them doing one time, but it was like, I think it was something to do with horses. Like it was like horse racing on like a motorway or something like that. It was kind of some sort of souped up version of competitive horse racing.
Sure, have you seen what they do? It's in one of those Emirates countries, whether it's Oman or one of them, they have camel racing, right? But instead of sticking jockeys on the camels, they have little robotic jockeys in their silks and all, like little boxes about the size of a biscuit tin sitting on the back of them, with a little hat.
Yeah.
And they have a little whip that spins. And they bet on that, like, fucking racing.
That's probably what I fucking seen, and that's probably
that's
something.
What it is. I'm telling you, that's what you're seeing. Some weird shit like that.
Crazy, man, crazy. But I think it's a good place to do it, because I'd say that they're going to let everything go with the UFC. I don't know, are they allowing the crowd in to see it though?
Do you know what? No, not at all. But this is the time to do a load of steroids.
Yeah.
This is the time to do. I'm not just talking about you and me in our houses with no competitive fucking reason whatsoever.
Just get massively fat by just where's the fucking muscle gone?
Would you ever do it?
Take steroids?
Yeah. Would you have once upon a time in your life? Not now, because
yes.
you've got a brain. Have you?
I would have. Well, no, I haven't. No. I've taken testosterone tablets before.
Have you?
Yeah.
How
but I got them off a Polish lad in the gym in Galway, but then it turns out I know, typical. That sounds even made up, but it's not. But it turns out you can just buy them in the shop anyways. So it was a waste of time, really. You can buy them in Holland and Barrett, or you could. Or it was like one of these, I think they were like alternative head shops or health stores in Galway. You could buy these like testosterone tablets, but he had strong ones. But I remember he gave them to me once because he was in there working out twice a day in this gym in Galway. And I used to see him in there, and I was like, you know the way like you just get chatting to lads when you're bollock naked in the shower?
Yeah, of course, yeah. No better time to talk to another man when you've both got your dicks out, yeah.
Exactly, after a hard workout, so you look like you're fucking, I don't know.
Both of you are all veiny and shit, and it's just, you know.
Christ, yeah, exactly, yeah. But no, but I met him inside beside one of the mirrors that were in the gym, and he was like, I can get you some testosterone, so I ended up getting some off him. It was like a little tub of testosterone, and it didn't really do much, but it kind of made me angrier when I was in the gym.
What, that they weren't working?
No, I think that's what they were doing to me. They were making me kind of like a bit antsy, so I was kind of like rushing around the gym. I was pretty much just power walking around the gym, trying to lift weights. I couldn't lift any more, but I had the determination to keep trying, if that makes sense.
Right, because I was only talking with a lad the other day, and he was talking about getting it in injection form, like, because they reckon, like the likes of The Rock, like The Rock is in his 50s, but he's got a better body. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they reckon he's taking like HGH as well, which would be hormone, not just testosterone. It'd be hormone replacement therapy as well. They reckon the HGH, like the growth hormone, which they're all on, like, which apparently makes your head really big. They reckon he's on, the gear he'd be on would cost about 12 to 14 grand a month.
Wow.
But the results are there. You know, he's getting 20 million a movie.
He is, but what's happening the inside of his body then? What's that looking like?
I don't know.
I don't know how I'm like. I think it seems to be like definitely an American thing where they like to take lots of I suppose fucking injections and tablets and stuff like that. Like when they're working out, they get really big. Like a lot of dudes are really big there in America. But you'd wonder how come these boys don't have heart attacks, or
you know, they do have heart attacks.
I don't hear about it too often, but I suppose they do. Like they must do.
But sure, look how many wrestlers die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They drop fucking dead from all that gear that they be taking. Like, I mean, now you'd be guaranteed somebody like The Rock. He's worth so much money. He's not just buying that shit down a fucking back alley and fucking injecting it into his hole and hoping it goes good. He has a team of doctors around him.
Oh yeah.
Any man that can have 2 40-foot containers that contain his home gym flown anywhere in the world for him. That takes a full 747 to take that, like.
Wow.
And he was doing Jumanji. They dropped his entire gym into the forest for him.
And I can't even get a fucking kettlebell at my gigs. But I'll tell you this though, Tom. Geez, that's nuts. That's nuts. The fact that they'd fly his gym around after.
Yeah. I don't know what they said it weighs. Basically, it's fucking ridiculous what it weighs anyway. But, you know, because it's the House of Iron or whatever he calls it, like he's clanging and banging. I'm just clanging and banging. And you're like, relax, Rock, will you? For the love of Jesus, get your teeth whitened.
Do you ever reckon like that The Rock, like, does he know which direction his life is going in? Because he must have so many people around him So many people in the morning waking him up saying, it's time to get up, Dwayne, and have your breakfast. It's time to get up now and go to the gym. Now you've got to go to this place next, a meeting. Now you got to talk to your wife. Now you got to play with the dog. And then do you reckon he has any input into his life at this point? Or is it people just telling him what his next step is?
I wonder. That's interesting now. I wonder. Because I often think about that with famous people. Like, you know, one minute you'd see them on a newspaper or whatever. They look like a bag of shite, you know, walking down. Like Tom Hardy looks like a bag of shite most of the time. But the next thing you see him playing Bane in a movie, and he's fucking jacked. And you're like, how did a fella that likes looking like a sack of shite end up looking jacked? Do you know, if they ever offered me a ball of money, would I get that jacked? You go, of course I fucking would.
Yeah. No, of course you would. You'd go all in. But I suppose to get to that level that The Rock is at, he must have something inside him that he's so disciplined that he could get to that kind of level of work, because it seems like he's never got any downtime at all, apart from selling his tequila.
But you're at nothing if you don't have a tequila. We'd better bring out I think Harden Up Tequila would be some name for a tequila.
Oh, yeah.
Made out of nettles.
Whether it tastes good is a different story. But
made out of nettles, Owen.
Nettles and stones.
Maybe that'd be the name of it, Nettles and Stones.
Oh, that's a nice name, yeah. Like
Isn't it?
Nettles and stones, yeah.
And actually spell it stones too, not stones, stones.
It seems that everyone has their whiskey out now, but The Rock, I've noticed on Instagram, even though The Rock is a legend in fairness, but on Instagram, he's always sort of selling his, he's always on about having these tequila sunrise parties and stuff like that.
And that man is not having tequila sunrise parties, because if you were having tequila sunrise parties, you'd be inside in the cot till 12 o'clock in the day, scratching your bollocks going, fuck it. Mm-hmm. But if he's up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, clanging and banging in the fucking House of Iron or whatever, the House of fucking Gaines or whatever he calls it, I don't know, whatever he calls his fucking... You're not drinking fucking tequila on the reg. You're not, like, simple as that.
No, you're not. You're definitely not.
I'd say it's, I don't know, I mean, sure, he must be savagely dedicated. There's no two ways about it, because it's one thing to get in good nick for one movie, but he's in savage nick all the time, like.
Yeah. He is in savage nick all the time. But at the same time, you know, it's a very hard shape to maintain that shape he's in. So when does it get to a point where he's just like chilling out? Because The Rock is what age? 53?
Oh, he is, yeah, but he has the body of like a 23-year-old, like.
Yeah, no, he does, in fairness to him. He's got a gorgeous body. But I don't know how he does it at that age, because I think my father was struggling to fucking stand straight at that age. Never mind lift weight.
Listen, I'm not 20 years younger, but I'm a good bit fucking younger than that man. And I tell you one thing, I wouldn't fucking be, not to fucking hope. But then, here's what The Rock has on his cards, right? Obviously somebody else is making his tequila for him. He's not down there squeezing fucking cactus fucking juice in to make his tequilas, right? Or whatever it is they make tequilas with. He's not there making The Rock's t-shirts. He's going to the fucking gym, getting busted in the gym. And then what's his other fucking, acting. And he plays the same fella in every movie really well.
Yeah.
So if they were paying you, like, fucking money's fair nice sometimes, like, do you know?
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yes, the fucking bane of all evil.
So at his stage, maybe he's looking at a thing going, I could get the latest Ferrari for my next movie, but the only way I'm getting my next movie is if I get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock and the next morning and the next morning after that, and I lep the shit out of the fucking weights. He has to be putting his sights on it some way, because there's only a thick cunt would get out of the bed every morning and want to do that stupid shit every day.
Thing, but he has, like, he is the one, I suppose, getting himself out of the bed. He's got the motivation. Where did he get that motivation from? Because
starving hungry. Apparently he was starving hungry growing up.
Yeah.
Like, neither of us know, and we're lucky enough not to know what it's like to, you know, growing up and not know where the next fucking dinner is coming from, like.
Yeah.
Do you know, I don't know, because it was always fucking, you know, it might have been the fanciest grub in the fucking world at any point, like, but it was
boiled chicken.
To be fucking grandmother loved boiled chicken.
Oh,
whatever they are, they were the blend. Now, she was some woman for spuds, she used to make spuds lovely because it was like 50% butter, 50% spud, and then let's say another 50% if you could squeeze in 150% into one thing of salt. But I was such a fucking dustbin of a fucking eater. I ate like the fattest cunt on the planet, but there wasn't a pick on me. I don't know what it was. Like I was a fucking rake of a young fella, but I used to eat anybody else who fucking left stuff on their plate. I'd fucking hoovered up. Yeah. And I used to go up to the grandmothers. I'll milk cows above there, and I'd have the dinner above there, which is mostly spuds and boiled chicken, most likely, or something else fucking bland. I'd go down home, and I'd have the dinner there. And that'd be my third dinner of the day, because during the summer, I'd go over and I'd fork silage into cattle for a fellow over the road. They had their dinner at 1 o'clock in the day, and I'd have dinner with them as well.
Christ, just doing laps of the village, eating dinners.
Pretty much.
You did right. Yeah.
But at no point was it. Apparently, they were starving, fucking hungry growing up, and hunger is it's Mahan Tunlin is Tucker's. Owen, hunger is a great sauce.
Certainly is. It certainly is. It gets you motivated, anyways. But now the Rock is a legend. But I often wondered how he keeps himself so motivated, because I think he's the top earning actor at the moment as well.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Because he makes the most money for people. But like I'm saying, it's a deep-rooted psychological thing, I reckon, that's in there. That you can't manifest that shit. If you grew up fucking hungry, like starving, it's there.
And that's the thing about America, this American dream, because living in America, the life is so hard, and it's like you get run over in America if you don't work, I'd say. It seems like people are working 2 jobs just to survive over there. So they have such a hard working mentality over there that it's kind of all or nothing. And by the time you get to the stage of someone like The Rock, it's just bred into him to be, like, you've seen the size of his owlad.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. The Mayo
weapon. Yeah.
Fucking. But look that's what America's all about. It's capitalist 101. You either work or you drop down dead and die.
And then let's stand over them and start again.
Exactly. Speaking of which, this is a good segue of the American dream. Tell us your news this week.
Well, it's not just my news; it's the world news, I suppose.
It's your news. West. Breaking news here, people. We have it here. Owen Colgan.
Some lad told me down the village the other day, but and it actually ties into The Rock. And I think that I wanted to talk to you about Kanye West running for presidency in 2020.
I love that you called him Kanye West.
Kanye West. Kanye West.
That's made my week. Kanye West. Kanye West. He fucking, the same lad, he was horsing bales in Ballina when I was young. Like, Kanye West sounds like something a fella would shout at you across the yard. Do you know?
Yeah.
Kanye West. Actually, Kanye Wished. Would that be something that said? Kanye Wished. Wished, will you? Can you fucking wish?
We don't say that really here at all, no.
Do you not say wish? No.
No, but I've heard lads in different towns saying it, like, stop talking, is it?
Yeah, shut up, will you? Wished.
Yeah, yeah.
Kanye wished.
The odd time now you could be in some...
Have we just discovered this is some fucking Illuminati level? He is the great silencer. Hold on. It's coming to me on.
Can you stop? That's what it means. Can you wished?
Can you all shut the fuck up as our great leader speaks? Yeah. Can you wished? Because wished is a Scottish thing too. I'm telling you, it's can you wished? Fuck.
There you go.
Now, I know I may have jumped a few things there, but I think I definitely have discovered something on that's can you wished is actually
that could be his like slogan. I think his slogan at the moment is just yes.
This is a man who brought out runners and called him Yeezus or Yeejees.
Do you know what though? He's a business mastermind. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if he won it. And I think that himself and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as his second-hand man. Imagine Kanye West and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the vice president running in America. Imagine the size of everyone in America. This is the tweet, Tom, that Kanye put up on Twitter. We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision and building our future. I am running for president of the United States.
Do you think do you think he is though?
I think he is. I genuinely think he is. Yeah. I obviously he's not going to win it, like, but because it's too late and it's almost too late now. But I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if he won it in 2024. I really wouldn't. Not the way the world is now with just the way the world is now.
Anything's can go. Fucking anything can go. Like that mad cunt when Trump, a 70-odd-year-old fucking madman, can stand there. Did you hear him talking about when a fella asked him about the mask the other day?
No.
There's I should actually have her name. She's fucking amazing. She's a comedian in the States. She's really good at lip syncing. And what she does is she does Trump interviews, but she does the interviewer as well. And she does like other people. And she cuts away and she's fucking what it does is it really highlights the madness that's coming out. Like I talked about a couple of weeks ago, he's like an old nana. Mm-hmm. Old nanas come out with mad stuff all the time, like, what's this? Where did I leave that now? You wouldn't be long looking for that. You know, and they come out, and that's the madness that's coming out of that man. It's like an old nana coming out with things like, your man says to him, Mr. President, would you consider wearing a mask? He goes, I wear a mask. Yeah, I'll wear a mask. I look tremendous in a mask. I wore a mask the other day. Yeah, I look tremendous. In fact, I look like the Lone Ranger. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's
the level he's at in his mind.
So anything. Did you ever see a movie called Idiocracy? I bet you have. I forget your man's name. He kind of looks like a poor man's Rob Lowe or whatever. He accidentally goes back in time, or gets frozen, and he travels. He wakes up in the future, like thousands of years in the future.
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah, I know the fella you mean. Yeah,
you know who I mean. Yeah.
Picture him there.
Can you put it up? Or I'll put it up on the page in case anybody's wondering who I'm talking about. I'm going to just Idiocracy. If you're watching, by the way, on YouTube, this is who we're talking about. But essentially they had what was his name? He was the president, President Camacho.
I don't know. I'm shut off. I don't remember that at all. I mean, I'm very bad for names.
Hold on. Do you know what? I'm going to get him up in front of you here now. Terry Crews. You know who Terry Crews is?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Terry Crews plays here it is. Right, I'll get this up for you. Hold on, I'll share this page just for you.
This lad, he's got a very strong jawline. This lad, doesn't he?
No, Terry Crews is.
Terry Crews. Oh, I know. Old Spice. Yeah. I know Terry.
Yeah. So this is who he played, basically. Can you see?
Not yet. No. Oh yeah.
So you see him over here?
Yeah.
And he was captain, or he was president, like fucking Camacho Insano or something like that. And I remember thinking about going, yeah, we've kind of reached that status at the moment. And now they're actually talking about a wrestler or a rapper running and going, yeah, why not? Sure, fucking why not?
Would you be surprised at this point?
No.
Kanye West winning?
No, I wouldn't.
I reckon he wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I don't know does he know much about what's going on. I can't imagine.
Does that matter a fuck?
Yeah. How in the fuck would you run America with the amount of shit that you got to deal with over there? It's just how do you get everything right?
I reckon not in the suppression of women, but I reckon. Did you ever see the show A Handmaid's Tale?
No.
Basically, they start again. America, after a nuclear thing that happened, America had to start again. But a guy, it'll blow your fucking mind. It's one of the best shows you'll ever see in your entire life. But it represses women something fierce. But I think the level that they drop back to is what America probably fucking needs right now, and come up in a prosperous way, because it's gone down such a skewed fucking queer way of nastiness, where a fucking psychopath fucking billionaire rich kid who has daddy issues can fucking become the president, who was a reality star up until then. Like I told you a couple of weeks ago when I opened for Tom Green, driving down to Limerick that day, I says, how does it feel? Because he's Canadian, but he lives in America. How does it feel? And he goes, man, I'll put it to you like this, Tom. Yes, Tom, I kept on, every time he said my name, Tom, I had to say Tom, because he was fucking Tom Green, like.
Yeah.
But he says, Tom, the president of America should not know me. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I was on his show as celebrity fucking, what was the name of the show he had? Same as Alan Sugar and, what is it?
Oh, The Apprentice.
He was in Celebrity Apprentice. He says, he has my number in his phone. The president should not have my number in his phone. That should be the, you know, Obama would never have my number in his phone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because what is this madness? So I reckon Kanye, but here's the thing. I reckon Kanye was put up to that tweet by Trump.
To take votes away from Biden.
Absolutely.
But see, the thing is, how, like, imagine Trump meeting up with Kanye, right? Or maybe it was
which
over.
Has happened. He went to the Oval Office.
Of course, yeah. But imagine it happened. Imagine Trump wanted to get the idea across that he wants Kanye to run so that Joe Biden will lose all the votes. Where would you do it? Because if I was Kanye West, I'd be thinking to myself, this fucker's going to be recording this, or someone in the, you know, like someone on the computers is going to be recording this conversation. So I don't know, with Kanye, would he go for that? I don't know. I don't think he would.
But he wouldn't be told. You wouldn't say to Kanye, hey, listen, Kanye, lad, while you're at it, come here while you're at it. Wished. What you want you to do is throw a fucking... He wouldn't. I guarantee you what he would have is people lean into Kanye and go, do you know what would be class if you ran? Yeah, man, I'm the greatest person. My only regret is that I'll never see myself play live. I'm one of the greatest fucking... I am fucking Shakespeare. You're fucking right, Kanye, 100% kid. Why don't you run there? I'll fucking run it, good man. Meanwhile, fucking old Donny is going around to all the redneck states and all the fucking states that are all hard right-wing. He's going around holding the Bible, saying this, that, and the other. Kanye has drawn all the fucking media heat. Your man's rounding up all the people that wouldn't normally fucking be bothered to hold voting. And then what will be the only option? Biden will be out of the gap. And the option will be either Donald Trump gets a second term or a black lad who's a rapper.
Yeah.
Tell you, it didn't happen by accident. That man was in his office only fucking 6 months ago.
So you reckon somebody on the media team, or maybe the...
I'm telling you,
publicist.
110%.
Well,
yeah.
Well, it might come back to bite him on the arse, because Kanye, if he can get a, like...
But I'd say the flip side of it is this. He'd fucking love to give up the presidency. Because,
Trump.
that man don't want to be doing a tap. He wants to be out golfing and getting out Russian prossies to piss on him, or whatever he was into. Tell you, he don't want to be... he don't want to be doing this.
But see, when you get the taste of that power, though, as well, you know.
It was only a fuck you move, Owen. He never wanted to be president. I guarantee it. It's only the fact. Did you ever see the time that your man roasted him? Obama roasted him from the stage.
Yeah.
And he went, real star, blah, 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 blah. And you could see the fucking ignorance in his head. Everybody else, he should have laughed along and your average person go, that's a good one. Yeah. But he sat there going,
yeah.
18 months later, he was the president. Can you imagine? That's the fucking hate. You talk about drive, the hatred he had in that moment. And he went, I'll fucking get you, fucker. I'll show you.
But it seems like America creates these like really out there people, like characters, like between Kanye West, Donald Trump, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and fucking anyone else. Like, these are just a few characters that of all the lunatics that they produce over there. So it seems to be that the place itself is full. It's like a hub for creating lunatics.
Yeah, well, it's just pure Hollywood. It's the Wild West, man. It's the Wild West.
But it's a bloody great place all the same.
It's fucking class. No, I do like America, and I can't wait to get back there again. Like, we'll fucking... Yeah. So we'll probably end up touring America.
Well, if it's open, if we've got any American listeners, we should check out the old demographics. But if we have any...
I tell you now, if we went to Pensacola, Florida in the morning, we'd sell it out by.
Well, I'm happy to go there if you are, Tom.
I've cousins in Pensacola, and they'd fucking sell it out for us. Not a bother. They're big enough in the old community. It's a open carry policy around there. So we could get our gun licenses and just walk around like cowboys, just fucking guns on our hips.
bring the gun on stage with you, and if no one's laughing, just start fucking playing with the gun.
Shooting in the air. My news this week is, let me just show you up here now. I have, Jesus Christ, we can do nothing right in this fucking country. Why can't we just take it fucking handy, right? I'm just going to show you this on. For fuck's sake, like. Now, so the pubs opened up last week, and the only way you can open up as a pub, it's a wink and a nod. It's a wink and a nod. That's all you have to do. All we're asking is that you fucking serve an owl sandwich. But 26 different pubs around the country are going to be prosecuted because, of course, it's down to public health breaches. But they wouldn't even serve a fucking spud inside there. So, as it goes, 26 pubs have been prosecuted for breaching it. Pubs that serve food as well as restaurants were reopened during when the restrictions were lifted. Most of the pubs facing prosecution were found not to be serving food along with alcohol. Like the Gardaí carried out 6,830 checks on almost 3,000 licenses. So they went back twice and sometimes 3 times to places. Jesus, cheeky whores. Premises all over the country last weekend. But lads, if you were warned once, would you not fucking go down the shop and get a sliced pan and start making up sandwiches like?
Even let on you're making sandwiches, and you get away with it. But I'd say, how does the food make it healthier to be hanging around a pub? Oh,
who fucking knows? Nobody does. Nobody does. But I think what it does, it justifies booking a table. There's probably some weird law where you can't book a table in a public house unless it is a restaurant. You know, that kind of way.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing there's something there, but they're like, look, lads, we didn't make up the fucking law. Would you not serve a banana sandwich? Or give them a packet of fucking crisps and 2 cuts of bread and a fucking yoga butter?
Yeah.
Do something, guys.
And how does it work then, Tom, if you're like going into the pub with 100 mates and you just order like a meal for €10, but then 100 pints?
But you're not getting 100 mates in the door because you got to book in pre.
Yeah. You can only book a certain amount too, can't you?
There you go. They have thought about it. They have thought about it. So now a mate of mine was down in the pub in Rathcoole the other day. His father-in-law was down the road. He said, we're after getting a table. Man down. And they were down there, and he says, I fucking guzzled 4 pints, he says, in the first hour. There was no enjoyment in it at all. He says, just, you're supposed to be down the pub and having a bit of a natter and drink it. Drinking it. He guzzled 4 pints. And he eased off then. He was like, well, we've got an hour and 45 minutes here, so I'll have 1 more. Maybe I'll have 2 more. And he had 1 more easy, and then he rushed the 6th one. And then it hit the 9 o'clock mark, which is when the cutoff point is supposed to be. And people, they said, Shane, any chance of another pint? And your man, the barman, apparently was brilliant. He was like, oh, no, hey, for God's sake, waving his arms everywhere, pointing at the clock to make a big drama in front of everybody else in the pub. But then just kind of nodded and winked at the boys and just continued to pull them a pint, So there will be breaches, and I'd say the guards will know well there'll be slight little breaches. But Jesus Christ, for 26 of these pubs, that's fair ignorant. Like, it'd be guaranteed they probably found 546 and said, lads, would you start serving some fucking grub in here?
Yeah.
But
what happens to like the old school pubs? Those ones where like our lads be drinking and it's to be in a small village and there's no sight nor sound of a kitchen in the back. But then again, they're probably not getting checked up, are they?
Of course they're getting checked up, but there's alternatives. You can get Mary Ryan up the fucking road to be a caterer and bring in fucking soup in a Burke boiler.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Now. I mean...
So we're creating a new industry again for, reimagining the industry for the...
Well, fucking get fucking going with something. But don't stand there with your fucking 2 hands down your trousers going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't be the tick cunt who gets caught. Have something. Have a plate of sandwiches out. Have some fucking thing out in front of men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Otherwise you're kind of screwed altogether because... So what are they going to do? They're going to close those pubs there, or they're going to fine them?
Or they'll get a slap in the fucking knuckles, I suppose, anyway. But they probably won't close them, but at the same time, they're going to... They fucking nearly should close them for a week for being fucking stupid and ignorant. Because some publicans now will go, fuck you. But they were obviously visited a few times. So, lads, if there's publicans listening out there and you're going, fuck it, I'm not... Just put out a few pink snacks. Like, is there anything nicer than a pink snack and a tato sandwich? Do you butter white bread or brown bread on a tato sandwich?
If I'm going for the tato, you've already kind of dropped the ball because it's like bad for you. So I'll go with the butter as well, and I'll go with the white bread. I'll go full in.
Oh, fucking chips across the table, Vegas, chips, baby.
Oh yeah, and a cheese, like grated cheese, and then they got the ham in there as well. And I'll do the fucking mucking solic on it, as my mate would say. Go full tilt.
Oh wow.
No point in doing half measures. And then sure, I'd be throwing every other stuff in there as well. I'd be sausages and eggs.
I stop the lights.
No, I would not. No, I would never eat crisps now with sausage and eggs. But I've actually introduced my missus into crisp sandwiches, and she loves them. First time she ever had them.
No, any crazy variations in where she's from? Just like that, like
she said she'd never seen it done before, not even in where she's from. Like, so she thought it was funny, but then she tried it, and straight off the bat, delicious. She reckons potato crisps are like some of the best she's ever had.
Because there's times when I think, are some of these things just heavily nostalgic? You know,
I think so. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. But some stuff
are they actually good? But clearly, your woman being a perfect base of judgment.
Yeah, perfect base of judgment. Exactly, pure neutrality.
Total, like what do they call it? In a scientific experiment, she is the
non-biased.
Yeah, she's the non-biased fucking case study in that she doesn't know our potato history. Well, she knows it, but she doesn't feel it, in her core.
Deep in her veins, yeah. But I mean, she's actually from Argentina, so she gets the crack with...
she does. There's the
whole island, Falklands, is it?
Well, the Argentinians and the Irish, and their struggles for independence have been well known. The Argentinian, like the great man himself, Che Guevara, his grandmother was from Galway, if I'm not
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very good. And the fella that discovered the Argentinian navies from Mayo.
That's right.
Admiral
we went
Brown.
out to. Didn't we go out to that mini museum? It's not in Foxford, is it?
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We had the place dedicated to it. Like it was like a fucking Tuesday, and we went, and myself and the woman. I said to woman, like we just met. We were we are married, and it was our honeymoon. And we wanted to go off and do these, just keep driving and see what happens. Yeah. And we ended up in that museum, which is the best couple of hours.
It's lovely.
They made fucking tafers and everything on, because we're the only people in there. It was lovely.
Very good. Yeah.
Now, it got to a stage where quite literally he was holding up coins and stuff, and he was reading off the dates of them. And we were 3 hours there at that stage. And
yeah, you want to nip it in the bud then, like.
Yeah, know when the show has hit a peak, like, you know.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting stuff though, like. But 3 hours in any museum is long enough. It's plenty long enough.
Given that this museum was only made up of two rooms, it was heavy. So before we go into the questions, I do want to ask. So your calls for the weekend fights in the main event are Masvidal in the main event. What about Blessed, and who's he fighting again?
Is he fighting the Australian fella again?
Yes. Yeah.
I forget your man's name, but I think Blessed will come back and win that one.
And Aldo and...
I don't know the other lad he's fighting, but Aldo's going to win it, definitely, yeah. But I think Aldo's kind of done now. I think he'll win it, but he'll probably go on a bit of a losing streak again, because he's kind of... Well, then again, he's not even that old, actually, now that I think about it. But I've seen a few of the other lads' fights. I fucking forget his name, but Aldo looks like he's changed his train up a small bit, and he looks like he's in good shape again. So I reckon Aldo's going to take it. Let me just see who's
he fighting? UFC, what is it, 251, is it?
251. He's fighting a lad called Peter Yan.
Is he Brazilian as well, no?
He's 14-1, this lad.
Oh, Jesus.
Peter Yan is Russian. 27, and he's,
as you would say,
1 meters, 61 kilograms, and he's a bloody strong-looking fucker.
Sure, of course, as you'd say yourself, fucking douche.
Keep the jab lively. He's looking lively anyways, but you'd never know what UFC. It's a good old sport to bet on because it's kind of, in some ways it's 50-50 because, well, whoever gets a good slapping could go down and you could win millions.
That used to be like rugby league back in the day. We used to do rugby. I'd bet on fucking anything but rugby league when I was in college because we had BBC up in the house and nobody would. No, the bookie was never what. They hadn't a fucking clue the odds to put on. So Wigan might be playing fucking Hull at the weekend and they'd be basing it on, but because there was so much interchanging going on with players, there was fucking ridiculous interchanging going on with players. They never kept an eye on that. So all they were doing was basing their fucking odds on last year's fucking results.
Yeah.
And you'd see that Wigan were after fucking losing all their players to fucking Featherstone, who mightn't have fucking featured. And we'd see an odds from last year going, are you fucking cotton me? Are you fucking idiot? And like that, 50 fucking to 7 would be the score. Yeah. And you see the bookie going, I don't fucking know how this happened. You're not keeping an eye, lad. But that was the only sport they had no grasp on. And for some reason, they still took bets on it. Like, but the UFC it keeps everybody on their toes. Like, they match lads up very well, don't they?
They do, yeah. In fairness, like, yeah. And you'd expect probably more knockouts, but a lot of them go into the second and third and fourth round. But it's a good one to bet on because I put a few bets on in the past, just with McGregor fights or different things like that. And you'd always get 50 quid here or there, but obviously don't fucking blow the beans and put everything on.
Lovely stuff, right? So your calls are Masvidal, Aldo, and Blessed.
Yes.
Yep. Right. Yeah, I tend to agree. Although I'm happy for the others. Blessed is, that would be the fight that I would have more interest in because I just like him. Masvidal gives me a pain in my stones. Kumar Usman, I kind of want him to beat the fuck out of Jorge. That BMF belt has annoyed the shit out of me since day dot.
It's been taken a bit too far now. You need to kind of move on from it.
Would you go? He invented this belt for one fight ever.
Yeah.
And you call it the bad motherfucker. You're like, are you like, who has, like, was the Stone Cold had the BMF ranch or something? No, that's Cowboy. That's what he named his ranch. The BMF ranch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You're like, come on, what the fuck?
You're adults, give it up a small bit,
Yeah, it's a bit, to have it. So let's move on to we'll wrap up with the odd questions. So I have a couple of, I've definitely lost a few of them, but I'm going to just throw them up here and we'll quickly go through them on. Yeah. So first couple of questions. So, thanks very much. Somebody went, this is dope. I bet you're not a bot. So,
yeah.
So David O'Donoghue, fair play to you, David. Now this is definitely up your neck of the woods. Will Shrey United beat ShNES in 2021? What's your feeling about that? Do you have any idea?
I reckon they should beat them because with the way Shra have been training over the last 9 or 10 months and the boys, like the lad that plays up front for Shra, I forget his name now, but he's a very special talent. And I think that if he can continue his form against the ShNES crew, and the ShNES crew, like, they're tough. Don't get me wrong, they're fucking tough men.
I heard there's alleged doping in ShNES. I'm not saying it that is true, but a couple of those boys have come back. Those boys have come back from injury way quicker than they should have, if you know what I mean.
Okay, maybe I got you. All right, well that's a podcast for another day. But I reckon the ShNES boys, they're tough. They fight in packs, they attack you in packs, and they defend in packs. But I reckon that Shra United, because they are united and they're together and they're unitedness, they should win it. What do you think?
You absolutely, like a wrestler, you talked the shit out of that. There's no more shit left in that for me to root out. But if you would, you reckon Shra United. It is interesting you say that because I think ShNES, because I know a thing or two about ShNES. There was a great granduncle of mine. He lost a bet in ShNES years ago. And it was doing arm wrestling. It was an arm wrestling competition. And just like we were talking about betting and all the rest of it, the strongest bloke they could bring up from County Tipperary at the time went up against the strongest person they had in ShNES. And the great-great-grandfather had fucking pretty much put the fucking house on this guy and got beaten 3-0. And it was a fucking woman that beat this. Yeah, she was the pride of ShNES at the time.
Lord, what was her name?
Oh, it was Mary Margaret. It was Mary Margaret. What was it?
Martha.
No, it wasn't. It was Mary Margaret Costello was her name.
Great name. Triple barrel, you know they're tough. They've got stories.
She had a nick that started somewhere in her fucking arse, if you know what I mean. She just was all nick, this woman. And she had these 2 giant forearms with abs. I don't think she had an elbow. They were just forearms coming straight off the shoulder. So she just had that
tubular.
Yeah. She had that douche fucking attitude. She could have been Russian. She actually didn't even take off her black headscarf because women back then wore black headscarves. Women of the West. She actually kept a wicker basket of seaweed on her shoulder while beating him in this fucking arm wrestle. He was there with chalking up. He definitely had been riding beforehand or drank some bull semen or something. He was taking this to the max and he got fucking destroyed 3-0 by a ShNES woman in arm wrestling. And I reckon if even the women of 3 generations ago were stronger than your average man throughout the country in ShNES, I don't see Shreya United having a fucking prayer. And that's just me basing on a completely fictitious story that didn't happen at all.
So we're going for opposites there. Well, let's see who's going to win that one. But get back to us on that one, boys. We'd love to know who wins it.
Dave, keep an eye. Next question. Have you gigged in the UK before? And how did it go down? Have you ever gigged in the UK?
I've done a few, yeah. I've done a few in Edinburgh and a few in London and a few in... that's it, actually. Edinburgh and London.
How were you received?
Very good, because it was like Paddy's Day. The one in Edinburgh was Paddy's Day, so that was fairly handy. You know, people were just up for the crack anyways. And then the one in London was good fun. We did a few different ones in London between Hardy Book stuff and then my own. But they're always, when I go abroad and it's like you're kind of doing gigs to people who are like not all Irish, it kind of throws you a small bit. But it's definitely, it feels exciting because it's like, fuck. You know, it feels like it's nice that your job can take you to a different country. But I've done a few gigs in England anyways, yeah, but really enjoyed them. Enjoy the crack, you know, it's a different tempo.
The lighting in this tiny screen right now, the lighting in this tiny screen makes it look like you're either a Muslim priest because your beard has gone jet black and looks like you have no mustache.
I can't see my own picture. I don't even know where my picture is.
Can you not see your picture?
No.
Okay, to the people that will end up watching this is
amazing.
This, yeah. You genuinely look like Alpaca Owen.
I'll go open this thing.
Throw on the light there. So that's it. Yeah. An answer, Gavin. I'm guessing it's Gavin. Is it McBee? Yeah, I've gigged lots in the UK, and it tends to go down well because they know what they're dealing with. When somebody called Tom O'Mahony is brought on stage, even though they really struggle with the name O'Mahony, which as soon as they do struggle with the name O'Mahony, I make them all feel racist. It's great. It's one of the only places in the world where one of the whitest people you'll ever see will make a room full of white people and various other colours feel racist. But I've done Edinburgh maybe 5 times and stuff, but they don't like to consider themselves the UK anymore, even though they definitely are. So, Damo O'Shea. Well, fucking we call you Damo O'Shea. Damo OS5. Owen, what was the moment in your life when you were at your hardest?
That's a deep question because it's got different avenues to go down. I'm trying to think of the cleanest avenue to go down.
There's a lot of connotations to that, but
there is, yeah. No matter what alleyway I go down, it's going to be full of dirt. So I suppose the hardest I ever was the time I was in the gym that time and I was punching the punching bag after taking the testosterone tablets, and I couldn't punch the bag hard enough. I could actually feel my fists going through the bag, and I remember all the muscle dudes that were in the gym that day, Polish lads and Russian lads and Nigerian lads, they were all looking over at me because I was the hardest that I'd ever been in my life. So I experienced being hard with a group of men that I still don't know.
But they were hard men. You know it, like the Russian, Polish, and fucking Nigerians. But fair play, fucking Swinford's finest, douche, fucking Owen, douche, fucking Colgan. Right. Can you see the new questions? I'm just going to quickly. We'll rip through these. And we talked about this earlier on. So from Fronty Python, great name. Would either of you try microdosing mushrooms? I think we both agreed we would definitely do that with alpacas here in Wicklow.
Well, I'd say the microdosing, they reckon that's good for the mind because it keeps you tipping over all day. But I would. Apparently, the Irish mushrooms are some of the best in the world. Good land, lots of rain.
And
so that's a yes from me, Frothy. If you have, Fronty Python, if you have any for sale, I'm your man.
Well, I think we'll definitely, we should get a production company. Well, I have a production company that will do it. I've already talked with them about it and they will do it. So as soon as that company starts back up again, we're going up the Wicklow Mountains, myself and Owen, to just get in touch with Mother Nature once more because I think we've lost the run of ourselves. So that's 100% from both Owen and I. We definitely will. Next question from Neil O'Brien. Are you hitting Wexford? Wexford, lad. Where good on your tour when it goes ahead? Owen, I think you could even answer that.
100%. Love Wexford. Great. It's a great spot. The sunny southeast. Would love to get over to Wexford and Wicklow. Love those parts of the country. But if you have a venue that you know about that you want us to come to, give us a shout. I'd love to go over there, Tom. I'd be up for that. I know that the lockdown is a bit tighter now, but we can definitely find something that would be nice and cozy and like as we were saying earlier, like just chat to local characters, few interviews, a couple of different stories, stuff like that, and just have a lovely time of humans hanging out together.
I've done a good few gigs in Wexford, and I can tell you one thing: the last gig in Wexford I did was an absolute sellout on the tour. When I was doing that play Caveman, that one-man tour in the Opera House, and I was almost teary-eyed. They were that good of an audience. Yeah, I couldn't come away off the stage. It was just fucking that. Wexford will be nearly number one on the list. Absolutely, we're coming there. Have you had your first pint after lockdown? I haven't had an outdoorsy pint other than at home. Have you had an outdoorsy? Well, you've had one.
I have.
Go on, tell me.
Well, I had one the other day in the Talbot in Belmullet. Lovely pint of Guinness. Oh, Tom, it was a different level. I was just frothing at the lips when I seen the lady pulling it. And the first pint, I thought it was for me, and actually was salivating. But it turned out that pint was for some other lad sitting across from me, which
it's unreal.
Got me even more jealous.
Oh,
yeah. And then she dropped it down to me, and I remember looking at it, and I was just a pint of Guinness, but it tasted so much more pure than normal because it hadn't crossed my lips in months. And to have that taste of a pint pulled in a bar, by God, I went to heaven and back.
Well, do you know something? That guilt I was feeling throughout this entire podcast, drinking fucking beer in front of you. And you fucking knew full well, Colgan, that I felt bad for drinking beer in front of you. And now you're just after saying that to me, and I haven't had my pint out yet.
But so you can go to your pint now, you know. Is there anywhere open up around you, Tom?
There's only a handful, to be honest with you, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know, like, it's nearly like you fucking grew your virginity back. You know, that kind of way you don't want it to be in some old shithole, do you?
Yeah. I want it to be nice and special.
I want it to be fucking just where it should be, like, you know.
Yeah.
With Willie Bunn telling me a story about a fella flying down the road in a wheelchair, or even with fucking Owen Colgan sitting beside me as the two of us just fucking schwamping.
Do you know what? Back. What if we figured out in the next few weeks to do a podcast over a pint?
No.
We could meet up. Maybe we can get suggestions of people to meet up anywhere in Ireland.
Wait, no, what we'll do is draw a line between Belmullet and Wicklow.
Yes.
That's your project. Draw now you don't have to be topographical or fucking geniuses or fucking anything else. Draw a line between fucking what Google Maps will tell you to do between Belmullet and Wicklow. And tell us where to meet up. And where the best pub is on the road. And that we'll fucking do it by.
We'll do a pint review as well.
Oh, well, I mean, we're hoping it's top fucking dollar. And there's been a couple other silly ones where they were pretty much high-fiving us. Oh, right. This is a good one to finish on. Now, I'm guessing you've been asked this a good few times before, Owen, because I've been asked this about Tom and Tarquin. Who would win in a fight, Owen Colgan or Buzz?
The thing is there any difference?
Now you're talking. Douche, douche.
Now you're talking. Douche, douche. We see Buzz would go straight in, but his stamina be fucked because of the rollies. But he'd be more cruel, you see. So you got to be... It's a hard one to judge because Buzz would be more cruel, whereas Owen Colgan would be like trying to weigh up the situation from a distance, but be like, okay, I'll have to get stuck in here now. But I'd say if it came to physical fighting, Buzz would win it. But if it came to emotional scrapping, Owen Colgan would take it.
You know who I see? Can I put my 2 cents in, if you don't mind? I see a young... Buzz was a young Eddie Alvarez. A young Eddie Alvarez. Street fighter. Nasty. Hadn't a penny in his fucking pocket. So he was desperate for a scrap.
Hungry.
But technically wise, I see Owen Colgan being a Chad Mendes. Came up through the ranks. Family had a few pound. Do you know? Never went hungry. Wasn't a rich kid, but at the same time knew what hard work was all about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I genuinely think toe to toe, I think Owen Colgan has Buzz, in my opinion. We've had to you went the other way. You thought Buzz's nasty edge would fucking win it. I don't think nasty wins it all the time. I think the smart fighter wins, and I think Chad would just have too much for him on the ground. I think right. Owen would have weight. He'd smother him, and before he knows it, I'd say he'd drag him into deep waters. He'd take him to fucking round 5. But
and at the very end though, just when Buzz is kind of wrecked, I'd look at him and going, "This one's for you, Buzz." And I'd go, "Dusha!" And I'd land like one of the cruelest jabs I've ever landed on anyone.
Or maybe you'd stand him up and you put on this haircut. And
grab him by the hair.
You do the guile, fucking spinning uppercut.
Oh, fucking Takasaka Mariaku. Yeah.
Oh, and on that note, we have to end the podcast. What other podcast gets to end with fucking Japanese?
It's the only way I learned it, Tom. Street Fighter. And he handled the boys.
I need to have a go off the new SNES or the throwback ShNES when it comes around.
Oh yeah, we'll get the pint in. We'll record a few podcasts maybe from your gaff or my gaff. We'll try to bundle them up.
Absolutely. Because we need to fucking hook up. So that is the project for the listeners. We don't obviously send us on your questions. Obviously send us on the love. Give the screen grabs of where you're listening, how you're listening. Fucking send us an old photograph, video, whatever you want. We're on all. You know it. You're following us on Instagram. Just send us on something about where you're listening to Harden Up Podcast. But the project we want from you is get your Google Maps. Go Belmullet to Enniskerry. Where is the best pub? Myself and Owen should get the sweetest baby pint on that road. Nowhere else on that road. Where else should we go? We're not traipsing to fucking Monaghan for one. We're not traipsing to Port for one. Somewhere on that road. We got to keep a timeline, and that's where we want to get that fucking that sweet nectar. Because I haven't broken my virginity.
Let me baptize you, Tom.
Oh Jesus!
I put it into your mouth and lean you over like a big barrel.
We'll actually video it. We'll actually video it of you just going, and you just catch me by the back of my head on, and just like Willy Wonka's fucking chocolate river, you just dunk me into it.
And then I'll have a saying at the end of it going, "You've been dunked."
Or, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, we're back because myself and Owen totally thought of a really funny sketch that we didn't want to fucking go on live to anybody else until you see it, because we don't want to ruin it, because that's what a good joke is all about. Like we said, follow us on all the usual platforms. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure and hit the 5 stars, because Owen Colgan will be around, and that man is half Russian, half Chad Mendes, and half fucking Eddie Alvarez. He will, what are the two noises that will be your fist hitting their chin, Owen? Let's hear them.
Straight to the jaw, you'll be down. Please support us on the journey of life.
We will be going live, and you know what your homework is for the week. I have been Tom O'Mahony.
And I've been Owen Colgan.
Till we see you next again on Harden Up Podcast. Good night. Thanks.
God bless. Love you to bits, guys. Good luck. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.